explosion on an oil drilling platform
in the Gulf of Mexico.
April 20th, 2010, 80 kilometers off the Louisiana coast. The morning opens like any other. Calm Gulf waters. A silver rig floating on steel legs, a 396-foot technological marvel built for $560 million. On the platform known as the Deepwater Horizon, 126 men prepare for what should have been a routine shift. By nightfall, the Horizon would burn. 11 would vanish into the waves. And the ocean itself would begin to bleed black 134 million gallons worth. This is the story of the worst environmental disaster in American history. And it begins not with an explosion, but with a whisper of warnings no one wanted to hear. The Deepwater Horizon was more than a drilling rig. It was a floating city of ambition. Owned by Transocean and leased to BP, it stood over the Macondo Well in Mississippi Canyon Block, 252, some 5,000 feet of water, then 18,000 more feet of seabed below. Every second under operation cost thousands. The well was 43 days behind schedule. Those delays translated to millions bleeding away. Dollars meant pressure. And beneath that steel and shale, hundreds of millions of gallons of crude oil and methane gas waited, compressed under unimaginable force, ready to escape. For weeks, quiet warnings echoed. Cement slurries that didn't set properly, gas readings slipping into the amber zone, a blowout preventer with a hydraulic leak, and failed battery. On April 19th, BP canceled a recommended cement bond log test that would have taken 9 to 12 hours and cost $128,000. They needed to finish. Time was money. On the deck, voices said, "We should stop. Test again." They were overruled. Then came April 20th. That morning, BP officials arrived by helicopter to congratulate the crew on 7 years without incident. By evening, they were gone. At 9:45 p.m., a bubble of methane gas broke free from the well, racing up 5,000 feet of drill pipe at impossible speed. When it reached the surface and hit the rig's engines, the methane ignited. The first explosion through. Men against walls and down through holes that opened in the floor. Douglas Brown, the acting second engineer, described being hurled against the control panel. Around him, screams. Then a second explosion caved the ceiling in. The platform didn't just catch fire, it was consumed. Walls melted, the helipad liquefied. Men leapt from heights of up to 10 stories into burning water. One survivor later said, "The floor left my feet. It shook you from wall to wall. You had to hold on." 94 crew members were rescued within minutes, but 11 never returned.
Jason Anderson, Dale Burkine, Donald Clark, Stephen Curtis, Gordon Jones, Roy Wyatt Kemp, Carl Kleppinger, a Desert Storm veteran, who had proposed to his wife in a letter from the battlefield, Blair Manuel, Dewey Rivette, Shane Rochto, and Adam Wise. The rig burned for 2 days before sinking. And when the steel hit bottom, the worst was only beginning. When the platform sank, the Macondo Well ruptured. The blowout, preventer that 450-ton failsafe failed to activate. Through the wreckage, oil began to gush, 62,000 barrels a day, every single day. For 87 straight days, the ocean bled. Within days, satellites tracked a slick wider than Rhode Island. Fishermen found tar-coated brown pelicans on Louisiana beaches, their wings useless. Sea turtles washed ashore on black sands. Up to 20% of all oceanic juvenile Kemp's Ridley sea turtles present during the spill perished. Dolphins began stranding in unprecedented numbers. By November, over 6,800 dead animals had been collected. Eventually, 1,074 miles of coastline would be contaminated. Some 57,500 square miles of ocean wore a coat of crude. Louisiana's coastal marshes, vital nurseries for marine life, became death zones. Shrimpers dragged nets filled with tar. 8.3 billion oysters died. Tourism collapsed in towns built on sun and sand. The Gulf we knew stopped being a sea of life and became a dark archive of loss. Containment efforts were heroic and flawed. Underwater robots crawled over twisted pipes a mile below the surface. To break up the oil, responders sprayed 1.84 million gallons of Corexit, a chemical dispersant never used in such quantities. Scientists later found it damaged lung tissue and created massive underwater plumes that starved entire zones of oxygen.
And when I woke up this morning, and I'm shaving, and Malia knocks on my bathroom door, and she peeks in her head, and she says, "Did you plug the hole yet, Daddy?"
On the 15th of July, 2010, after 87 relentless days, engineers finally installed a capping stack that stopped the flow. Silence fell over the Gulf. But the statistics were staggering. 134 million gallons lost, nearly 20 times the Exxon Valdez. BP alone would pay $20.8 billion. But the real loss was measured in what we can never reclaim. Investigations revealed the anatomy of disaster. The cement. Job had failed, the mixture too weak to withstand pressure. The blowout preventer had multiple failures. But these were symptoms, not causes. The real disease was deeper. Cost-cutting decisions made in boardrooms. BP pleaded guilty to 11 counts of felony manslaughter and violations of environmental law. Executives faced criminal charges. The company paid tens of billions. But justice does not resurrect dolphins or bring back fishermen's livelihoods. The environmental toll continues today. Studies reveal oil residue still present in Gulf sediments. The 48,000 workers who cleaned the beaches, many became sick from exposure. Of 23,000 approved medical claims, most received just $1,300. Many got nothing at all. Today, the steel skeleton of the Deepwater Horizon lies on the ocean floor, 5,000 feet down in the darkness, a monument to hubris visited only by deep-sea creatures and memories. For 87 days, the ocean turned black. When the waves finally cleared, the question remained: how do you fix what you can't see? In 2019, offshore drilling safety regulations were rolled back. New wells are being drilled in the Gulf right now, going deeper than ever before. We have learned the science. We have documented the devastation. We have paid billions. But have we learned the lesson? History will record the numbers. 87 days, 134 million gallons, 11 lives. But we must remember the moment when the sea itself paused, inhaled wrong, and expelled a darkness we are still cleaning up. The 11 men who never came home. The question is, will we?